Good morning, all, once again. So let's start with the lecture. Today, we'll continue with the practical assignments that we were doing based on NetBeans. So we have done one or two questions yesterday. Um, let's continue with the same. I'll just move on to the book, not book. It's the practical assignment that I'm having. I'll share this with you people. So we have done the first one was simple calculator. We have done that, and this was experiment on that multiple conditions, right? So this we have covered up. So here we have to use multiple if statements, as we can see here, with solution is also there. The next thing we have another question where we have to calculate the total marks, percentage and grade on the basis of the percentage given below. If the percentage is more than 90, A1, A plus will be given. If it is more than 80, A. If it's more than 70, it is B. 60 plus will. So this is the interface which we need to make. Here we have name and class on the top, a roll number option there. Then these are the marks, right? So user will enter the marks over here, and total marks and percentage and the grade will be calculated accordingly when you click on calculate button, right? So for this, what we need to do is we need to read all these values, right? And we'll take up separate variables for storing is, like you can see here, eng is for English, and float dot parse float text field txt English dot get text. The name of this text field will be txt English. You can change the name also, as we take a t1 t2 t3. It's easier for us to write. So likewise, uh, 5 different variables are chosen, and all the values from these text fields are taken up, and they are stored in these particular 5 variables after converting them into float form. Float means decimal form, right? So then we'll take another variable tm where we can add all these 5, and then we'll take another variable per for finding the percentage. So percentage is tm multiplied by 100 over 500. Then we'll go with the comparisons. If the percentage is more than 90, so they can another variable gr, which will hold a string value a plus. Likewise, so we'll keep on giving multiple if condition, जैसा हमने last question में किया था. So for all these grades, we have to give these conditions, and remember it has to be else if, right? And finally, we print all these things in these 3 text fields, right? Now let's go to NetBeans. I'll take a new form. The name I'll give is result. Click on finish. Okay, so I've taken certain labels, certain text field. Let's take a panel this time, because all these marks, let's place all such controls in the panel. We'll take 5 different labels for the 5 different subjects, and 5 text fields for writing for reading the values from the user. Let's take another panel where we'll put the output and the button. few more labels where we'll write the sum, average, and let's take text fields only for printing. Okay, mic is off. I got it. Thank you, Prablin. So label here will write name, class, roll number. These are optional because we are not going to use these text fields at all. Although so placing and all you have to do it yourself. This label is for English, maths, science, SST, and IT. Let's likewise this label will be total and this will be percentage and the last label will be grade. Lot of disturbance today. There's some problem with the network, so its class is getting disconnected and again and again. Anyhow, so we need these variables because we need to find out the values out of this. So let's change the variable name. I'll take t1 this one, or let's take it te, right? This will be tm, tsc, tst, and ti, right? And for total I'll take t only. For percentage it will be p, and for grade let it be g, right? So now come to code. Double click on calculate button. The very first thing is we need a variable for English, so I'll take eng, double dot parse double te dot getText, for Maths, I'll take math variable, and the name of the text field is TM. For science, I'll take SCI, and the text field name is TSC. SST, I'll take TST. For English, and then last one was IT. So I'll take IT as the variable for this, and name of the text field was TIT, TI or TI only. So we have taken all these 5 values, converted them into double type, and then we have stored this all, and these are in all 5 different variables. Now we need sum of this, because first thing is the total. So we'll take another variable total, let's say, and there will add up all these variable, find, and then to find percentage PER, I've taken another variable PER, and then whatever is the total, we'll divide that by total number of subjects, that is 500, and multiply by 100 and a semicolon. Fine. And the last thing was your conditions. Now, if the percentage PER is greater than or equal to 90, then take another variable, let's say grade. No, grade should be string, not double. The reason is that we have to give alphabets here. So we'll take A plus, right? Okay. So the problem is that it has to be declared in the beginning. Remember this, that you have to declare such things in the beginning, because in the loops and in the conditions, we don't prefer to write declaration. Declaration is to be done in the top, right? So else, if again percentage, that is PER, is greater than equal to 80, then this variable grade is equal to A. Likewise, I'll copy this. For 70, grade will be, what was the grade? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. E, F tak hai. A, for 70, it will be B. For greater than 60, it will be C. For greater than 50, it will be D. 40, it will be E. And else, grade will be F. Right, so our conditions are all done. And based on the conditions, whatever number comes, whatever the percentage comes, it will decide upon the percentage based on these conditions. अगर percentage 90 से ज़्यादा है तो grade की value A plus हो जाएगी. अगर वो 80 से ज़्यादा है, 80 से ज़्यादा का मतलब है 90 से कम और 80 से ज़्यादा. Why 90 से कम? Because if this condition is false, only then we'll move to this line. So if this condition is false, then it clearly indicates that the value is lesser than 90. ये अगर 90 से बड़ी हुई वैल्यू, तो ये कंडीशन ट्रू होनी है. तो कंडीशन फॉल्स होने का मतलब है वैल्यू इज लेसर देन 90. So we don't need to write here and less than and PER less than is equal to 90. Or we can write also, right? We can write it like this, and PER less than 90. So that is also right. So we have to put this in brackets. That is also right, but we don't need this, because this condition, if this condition goes false, then only we'll jump to else part. तो ये फॉल्स होने का मतलब सीधी सीधी बात यही है कि पीईआर की जो वैल्यू है वो 90 से कम है, तभी फॉल्स होगा. तो हमें ये कंडीशन लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, राइट? That's why only else and one condition is given. Similarly, if this condition is also false, that means value is lesser than 80. So we don't need to check whether PER is greater than 70 and less than 80. So automatically it will be lesser than 80 because else is there. Likewise for other also, if it is lesser than 70, this condition is false. That means value is all automatically lesser than 70. 70 से कम ही होगी, तो हमें सिर्फ 60 से बड़ी है कि नहीं ये चेक करना है, right? So this means that in this condition checks whether the value is greater than 80 and less than 90, and this checks whether the value is greater than 70 and less than 80. So this will check 60 and 70, the range between 60 to 70. This is 50 to 60, and then 40 to 50. And else means if nothing is there, if the value is lesser than 40, we'll give F, right? So finally, we need to print all this in those text fields. टोटल के लिए T है, परसेंटेज के लिए P है और ग्रेड के लिए G है. सो T डॉट set text inverted comma plus, and for total the variable we have taken is total itself. For percentage we have taken P dot set text, again percent inverted comma, and then for percentage we have taken PER. Last one was your grade. So for grade, the text field name is G, and we'll write grade here. Now we don't need inverted comma here because grade is already string value. So we don't need to convert that into string. So inverted comma की जरूरत नहीं है, simply grade लिखो. Fine, so that's it from this program. Now let's run the file and see the output. Okay, so I'll just share that part now. Now if you can see this, this is your output screen. Enter any name. Now name is only, we are not doing anything regarding name, roll number, name in class, let's say 10th. Now enter the marks of English. Let's say I'll put 86, maths 90, science 75, SST 96, IT 100 out of 100. Click on calculate. So these are the total. Percentage is 89.4 and the grade is A, right? Likewise, if you change the values, like if you put this 85, this 100 as 75, again click, you'll find the variation. Percentage is wrongly coming. Why? परसेंटेज के फॉर्मूले में कुछ गड़बड़ है. ओके, समझ गया. Now the error here is that we have to divide the total amount by 500 and then it should be multiplied by. So let's put this in bracket. टोटल को 500 से डिवाइड करने के बाद 100 से मल्टीप्लाई करो. Now let's run the file again so that we can clarify the output. Name any G, roll number anything, class 10. Let's put the values. Click on calculate. Now it is okay, right? So 316.0 is the total, and you can take decimal values also. If I take 0.5, so it will calculate as per the decimal values because all values are taken as double, right? And the grade is automatically clicked. क्लोज बटन की कोडिंग क्या होगी? क्लोज बटन पे हमने कोड नहीं किया है. सो फॉर क्लोज बटन इट इज सिंपल, system.exit0. double click code button and write system.exit in bracket, put 0. 0 is the width. That's it. Save it. Right. So remember, system dot exit zero, system as capital, exit e small. That's it. And zero is to be written straight away, no inverted commas. Now, when you click on close, this whole form will close. So this is similar to this cross button. This close and this close both are same. That's it. So when you click on close, that file goes off. Fine. So that was the this program. The next thing I'll share this file, that file I'm currently explaining. I'll share this in group also. तो इसके जो experiments हैं इनको करना है because at the end of session we need to have a file. We have to create a file. वो फाइल में क्या करना है आपको, यही फॉर्म है. दिस इज बेसिकली द पीडीएफ फाइल, पीडीएफ ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर फाइल. Experiment numbers you have to write, objective you have to write, what are we doing in this particular program, and what is the task, right? GUI form, this you have to draw in pencil, right? And then coding has to be written on next page, second page. So this should come on first page, objective, task, and this in second page पे coding आएगी, right? One more thing is that we have to paste the screenshot of the output. जो हमारा आउटपुट आ रहा है ना, उसका स्क्रीनशॉट हमें पेस्ट करना होता है. तो ये कोडिंग आप करो. तो बेस्ट वे इज टू सॉल्व दिस इज, इसको आप नेटबीन्स में प्रैक्टिस करो, और नेटबीन्स में जब आप कोडिंग करते हो तो नेटबीन्स की कोडिंग का ही स्क्रीनशॉट आप वहाँ पे डाल सकते हो, right? So take the screenshot of this particular code, and then in place of writing all this coding, you can simply paste the screenshot of that coding, right? And whenever you take output, like you run the file and then put the values, click on button and we'll get the output, and then take the screenshot of this and then paste that thing in that particular file. ठीक है. तो हमें करना क्या है, बेसिकली वर्ड में आपको ये फाइल बनानी है. ये चीज़ें आपको टाइप करनी पड़ेंगी, ऊपर वाली तीनों चारों जो है, ऑब्जेक्टिव एंड टास्क. दिस इज अ स्क्रीनशॉट, यू कैन टेक इट फ्रॉम हेयर ओनली. यहाँ से भी आप कॉपी करके डाल सकते हो स्क्रीनशॉट का, राइट? और देन कोडिंग आपको परफॉर्म करके उसका स्क्रीनशॉट डालना है, राइट? सो लाइकवाइज यू हैव टू क्रिएट some of the programs, right? So I'll tell you which all programs. We'll not cover every program here, so we'll do some of them one by one. Okay, the next one is the use of radio buttons. Now what we have is, it's a billing application for Happy Shopping, a retail chain, and so यहाँ पे है क्या, हैप्पी शॉपिंग ऑफर डिस्काउंट टू द मेंबर्स होल्डिंग प्लैटिनम, गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर कार्ड्स. सो वी हैव 3 डिफरेंट कार्ड्स. सो दोज वर हैविंग प्लैटिनम, उनको हमने 10% डिस्काउंट देना है. दोज वर होल्डिंग गोल्ड कार्ड, उनका 8% है, सिल्वर वाले का 5% है, राइट? सो व्हाट वी नीड टू डू इज, नेम ऑफ द आइटम शुड कम हेयर, then rate is to be mentioned here. What is the rate of that particular item? How much is the quantity? Total amount means multiply these two, rate and quantity को multiply करो. Discount, now discount is to be calculated based on the selection done here. अगर प्लेटिनम सेलेक्ट किया है तो ये 10% कैलकुलेट हो जाए इस अमाउंट का. अगर गोल्ड सेलेक्ट किया है तो इसका 8% हो जाए. अगर सिल्वर सेलेक्ट किया है तो इसका 5% कैलकुलेट हो, एंड दैट डिस्काउंट शुड बी डिस्प्लेड हेयर. देन नेट अमाउंट विल बी दिस माइनस दिस, राइट? तो इसकी कोडिंग हम कैसे करेंगे? पहले तो इसमें इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज दीज टू. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल विल रीड दैट वैल्यू एंड स्टोर इट इन अ वेरिएबल. लाइक हेयर व्हाट tr इज अ वेरिएबल टेकन. सो ये रेट वाले टेक्स्ट फील्ड से वैल्यू उठाई, पार्स फ्लोट में कन्वर्ट करी with the help of parse float method, and rt variable में सेव करी. Then we'll read this value 5, this quantity. The qty was the variable taken. So again get text method से read किया, parse float से float में convert किया, and then qty में save कर दिया, right? This you can take integer also, but just remember, whenever you are taking float somewhere, So always try to take all the values as float value, because otherwise conflict may come, right? Although we have an option called as explicit type conversion or implicit type conversions, where automatically it will convert the integer value into float, but sometimes the compiler gives an error. So take all values as float only. Then we need to multiply these two and print it here. So for that, AMT one variable is taken, right? All are float values. As you can see, all variables, whatever we are using, they are in float form. So RT and QTY are multiplied here. So whatever answer comes, it is saved in AMT variable. Now we'll calculate the discount. अब discount कैसे calculate करना है? Based on the selection done in the radio buttons, right? If the first radio button is selected, right? Let's say the name of the radio button is RDBTN Platinum. This is the name given to this platinum button, or you can take it smaller also, R1, R2, R3 ले सकते हैं. So if this button is selected, equal to true. If statement में हम लोग ये हमने किया भी था कि बटन का नाम dot is selected equal to true. So this will compare whether this button is selected or not. कि क्या ये selected है? अगर ये selected है, then take another variable dis, amount multiply by 10 divided by 100. So we'll get 10% of the amount. Right? So whatever amount is there, so we'll multiply it by 10 and divide it by 100. We'll get the 10%. So dis will have that percentage, right? Then again for next radio button, we'll use else if RDBTN gold. Now this is the name of the second radio buttons. So if this is selected equal to true, now इस selected method क्या करता है? चेक करता है कि क्या वो जो बटन है उसकी selected property में, selection property में true है या false है. क्या वो, it will try to check. If it is true, and we'll compare that the value is true or not. If it is true, then discount is calculated at 8%. This is selected method is used to check. ये चेक करता है कि इस बटन में जो selected property है उसमें true है या false है, राइट? अगर वो ट्रू है, हम उसको ट्रू के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं. तो ट्रू इज कंपेयर टू ट्रू. अगर ट्रू दोनों इक्वल हुए तो आपकी कंडीशन ट्रू हो जाती है, राइट? सो दैट in that case we'll use 8%. We'll calculate 8% discount. And lastly, we'll write only else, because if this is wrong and this is also wrong, then automatically third one will be right. Silver wala selected hoga. So we don't need to write if condition, right? But if you don't want to use if, that can also be done, right? रेडियो बटन्स में हमें इफ एल्स यूज कर सकते हैं. चेक बॉक्सेस होते तो हमें एल्स नहीं लगा सकते, क्योंकि वहां पे मल्टीपल सिलेक्शन होती है, राइट? So we can also replace this by if statement. In place of else, we can write if the name of this radio button, let's say RD button silver, RDBT and silver is selected equal to true, then DS discount is equal to 5% of AMT, right? So this will select your discount. And remember one more thing, that this variable should be common in all these conditions. Why? Because if this is selected, then this becomes 10%. If this is selected, this becomes 8%. If the third one is there, then the same variable should have that discount value. तो इसलिए सब में हमने same variable लेना है. Then we need another variable net net. So net will be AMT minus discount. So AMT is the total amount, discount is the DIS is the discount. तो AMT में से DIS माइनस किया तो हमारा नेट अमाउंट आ गया. उसके लिए वेरिएबल लिया NET. And that then lastly we'll print all this AMT, DIS and NET in these three variables, these three text fields. Fine. And for close button it is system.exit0, right? So this is how we do this code. Okay, चलो अब हम इसका एक इंटरफेस तो बना ही सकते हैं, because although we are left with only 2-3 minutes. So let's create the interface first of all. Um, this was about happy shopping, so name I'm taking happy shopping. Label on the top, label, another label. How many labels are required? One, two, three, four, five, six. Six labels, six text fields, three radio buttons, and two buttons. Five and six labels, then six text fields. This is text area. So likewise, you need to have all these text fields, and then we need three radio buttons. अब radio buttons में एक चीज हमें करनी है, single selection के लिए we need to have button group. So just drag it here and drop it, and then click on the first radio button, go to the button group property. From there, select the name of the button group. Name of the button group you can see here, button group 1. We have only one button group, right? Similarly for second, again select the name of the button group. So now if you can see this yellow line, now this indicates that now we have single selection in between these radio buttons. Fine. And two buttons are required. One is the calculate button and one is the close button. Right, so anyhow, we cannot complete this because we are left with only 1 minute. So I'll just end up here, and we'll do the rest part next time. Fine. So